Konnichiwa on Mind, Body and Soul, getting it straight with Rolfing. How to run your depression right out of town and going nuts in Africa. But first, discover the youngest of Japan's martial arts. Perhaps the youngest of Japan's martial arts, Aikido is known by many of its practitioners and students as the Way of Peace. However, this martial art can trace its heritage to Japan's 9th century feudal society, and in another form, it was practiced by the samurai as a way of dealing with attackers' weapons if they found themselves unarmed on the battlefield. Aikido's philosophy, however, is more about avoiding violence in the first place. Sensei Joe Tambu is a 6th Dan black belt in Yoshinkan Aikido, developed by Shoukei Shioda in Japan after World War II. Shioda was a student of Aikido's founding father, Morihei Ueshiba, known among the followers of Aikido as O-sensei or Great Teacher. Throughout the 20th century, Aikido evolved into several schools of practice. Yoshinkan Aikido, here demonstrated by Tambu, is occasionally called the hard style. Yoshinkan Aikido places an onus on practical efficiency and is the style that many branches of the Japanese police study. The varying schools of Aikido all share at their core at least 2 fundamental threads: a commitment to peaceful resolution of conflict whenever possible, and a commitment to self-improvement through Aikido training. Aikido is seen by many of its practitioners as a refinement of martial arts technique. The Aikido practitioner seeks to master ki, or universal energy, for the betterment of his physical and spiritual self. Time spent in the dojo focuses on the practical application of the art. Before sensei enters the dojo, the class warms up. This includes tumbling exercises. Tambu ensures his students don't fall into the trap of only landing on the side they're comfortable with. A lot of contact with the floor can be expected in Aikido training sessions, so the floor is padded. As class begins, a bow is made to the front as a sign of respect to the art, not as a sign of worship to any image. Then a bow to the teacher in pursuit of learning, and a bow to other students as a sign of respect and humility, asking forgiveness in case of injury. Tambu observes the students demonstrating the basic positions and offers guidance. The Aikidoist develops a relaxed posture in which the weight of the body is directed towards its physiologic center in the lower abdomen. Breath into this space also establishes a centered state of mind for the participant. Tambu demonstrates a technique, then builds on it in each class, offering new information in small steps. Yoshinkan Aikido has a large number of techniques. Once the 150 basic techniques are mastered, there are 3,000 more that follow directly on. It's a lifelong study. Increased stamina, flexibility and muscle development occur naturally as a result of training, but the techniques themselves do not depend on strength for effectiveness. Aikido is considered to be non-aggressive, as the Aikido student does not instigate the attack. The basic principle of Aikido is do not fight force with force. Aikido uses very few punches and kicks. Instead, the attacker's force is redirected into throws, locks, and restraining techniques. Size, weight, age, and physical strength play only a small role, as the skilled Aikido practitioner is able to redirect the attacker's energy, keeping his partner unbalanced and technically disarmed. Initially, the techniques are taught as static positions and then joined together. When fluid and performed up to speed, the dance-like precision of this art can be truly appreciated in the movements of an Aikido master like Tambu. Aikido founder O-sensei firmly opposed conflict and believed there was no place for competition in Aikido. One school went against this belief, but Aikido is largely non-competitive and not classed as a sport. The art is practiced with a partner, not an opponent, and one can participate to a late age because it does not rely on flexibility, muscle, speed, or strength. Thus it has become especially popular with women and senior citizens. If you'd like to experience a martial art that offers mental stimulation whilst working up a sweat, without the bruises from an overzealous sparring partner, Aikido could be what you're looking for. Vegetarianism is about to become the hottest trend in Asia. A spate of meat-eaters' diseases is encouraging people to help themselves to a plateful of plants instead. Filipino model Isabel Roses was steaming up the lens recently in the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals spiciest ad campaign so far. PETA is calling for people across Asia to spice up your life. Go vegetarian. 25-year-old Roses, who has been a vegetarian since childhood, posed with 250 kilograms of red-hot Thai chilies to help burn the message into people's memories. And the chilies weren't the only raw thing on camera. Roses, who was quite at home posing for the pages of Cosmopolitan and Preview, decided to get her gear off, all in the name of peace, love and freedom. For the animals, of course. Isabel grew up with a house full of pets. Overcrowded farms and the pain inflicted on animals during meat production are big no-nos according to MTV's Fashion Model of the Year. Isabel has been a spokesperson for PETA for 2 years now and had no qualms about spicing it up for the cameras. The director of PETA concedes that the latest campaign is a little racy, but they wanted to show the world what a healthy, sexy, fun and exciting choice being vegetarian really is.
I was vegetarian since childhood, and my mom first converted. We were eating vegetables at house, and I really loved animals growing up. I grew up with a lot of pets, and that sort of converted me, my love for them.
As a vegetarian, you're not only saving the lives of thousands of animals every year, you are also more likely to avoid a spate of animal-spread diseases, all of which are rife in Asia. Roses adds her name to a distinguished list of celebrities who have donated their faces to PETA campaigns. She's definitely the hottest of them all. Rolfing sounds like a label for the latest sheepdog trials, but this unique, holistic approach to the rehabilitation of the human form will have every part of your body working efficiently in a pain-free and easy manner.
Breath high up into the lungs.
In a series of 10 sessions, the Rolfer will work their magic with a little participation from the patient and a little help from gravity. In fact, Ida Rolf, the founder of the technique, was fond of saying the body is at war with gravity. Emma Pleasance, a professional Rolfer, explains we are always straining against this force. The Rolfer can remind you how to work with gravity again, mending the rift between structure and function, in short, structurally integrating the body. Emma started out as a massage therapist, but finds Rolfing a more suitable technique to effect positive change in her clients. Most forms of physical healing, such as massage and osteopathy, concentrate on manipulating muscles or the skeletal system in order to realign the body. Rolfing concentrates on smoothing out and decongesting the myofascia. This fascia is intrinsically the basic stuff humans are made of. It's the connective tissue in the body. It forms protective sheaths of collagen around groups of muscles. Over time, due to physical injury, stress and negative emotion, these sheaths or fascia may become knotted up and messy. This is Richard's first session in the series of 10, and Emma will be concentrating on freeing up his superficial fascia, or the body stocking that lays just beneath the surface of the skin. After the session, Richard can expect to feel slightly more elongated in the trunk and less jammed up around the pelvic region. His breathing will have expanded to include more of his lung capacity, making breathing deeper and easier.
So comfortable?
As you can see, Emma lets gravity do most of the work. She doesn't force the issue. She uses her body weight to lean into Richard using her elbows, fingers and knuckles. Unlike a massage therapist, she doesn't use oil. She uses a lubricant that will promote a grip between her hands and Richard's body. For Richard's part, he must aid Emma by moving his body gently in certain directions and breathing into and releasing pain in all of the congested areas. His homework after the session may be to do positive visualizations as he walks with renewed freedom and vigour.
Pick them up again.
Emma lets Richard stand and stretch to sense the impact the treatment is having on his body.
Wow.
The treated side is definitely more flexible. After treating the second side, the two progress to seated back work, where Emma uses her elbows to work vertebrae by vertebrae down Richard's back. She is aware that this is quite a powerful movement that can often leave clients feeling a little woozy. In subsequent sessions, Emma will concentrate in further detail on specific regions of Richard's body, paying close attention to his hip girdle, shoulders and neck. In the final 3 sessions, everything previously worked on will be integrated. Rolfing sessions last from between an hour to an hour and a half, and apart from affecting the physical body, impact in a positive manner on the psychology and emotions, attitudes and behaviour of the individual. Anyone at any age can benefit from this scientifically proven method, and photographs have proven that changes to the body are present years after the technique has been experienced. Prepare to make peace with gravity with the help of a professionally trained Rolfer. If you're lurking about in the deep doldrums of depression, should you pop a pill or sweat it out? Scientists are about to embark on the largest study yet into the effects of exercise on depression. Depression is the 4th highest cause of disability worldwide and is unfortunately on the rise, set to take 2nd place by the year 2020. The monumental study into the disease will bring together the expertise not only of psychiatrists, but exercise psychologists, health economists, and primary carers from several world-leading universities. Scientists are excited about using exercise as a treatment for depression because of all the positive side effects associated with getting fit. People lose weight and strengthen their musculoskeletal systems, as well as increasing positive chemicals in the brain, which stave off the blues. But before you enroll yourself in a course at the Institute of Sport, scientists are quick to stress they're not about to turn people into world-class athletes to gain the benefits of exercise.
We're not looking to make people into athletes. We just want to improve the amount of exercise and activity that they're undertaking on a day-to-day basis. There is good evidence that that is likely to have potential beneficial effects in this group of patients.
A mere 30 minutes of brisk walking a day may do the trick. And you don't have to make like a rat on the treadmill at the gym. A walk at lunchtime with friends in the park may be the simple answer. All the preliminary evidence tends to suggest that exercise will be beneficial to those suffering from depression, but a major study is a must. This study will recruit 750 patients who will be treated for their depression with exercise alone or a combination of drugs and exercise. There are a growing number of people who don't want to resort to chemical antidepressants, and scientists are happy at possibly offering them an alternative therapy, such as exercise, in the future. Not to mention the fact that antidepressants cost the state tens of millions of dollars every year. Exercise is easier on everybody's pocket. However, drugs may have to play a role in the recovery of some people, so scientists are figuring out ways to determine which drugs will work best for a patient by looking at their DNA. Genetic makeup affects some people's response to drugs. By looking at information supplied by the human genome, scientists can now match the treatment to the patient. So, in the future, when you're suffering from a severe case of the mean reds, you will have the option to reach for the pill bottle or run your depression right out of town. Get ready to plug into some powerful vibes with Reconnective healer Trevena. Sit back, close your eyes, and relax at her healing touch. The strange thing is, many people can't work out how she manages to put more than 2 hands on you at once without actually physically touching you. Trevena's patient Courtney is experiencing strange tingly sensations down the sides of her face and body. Even though she has no idea where Trevena's hands are, she has a sense of movement around her. She swears she can feel fingers walking and lightly touching their way along the top of where her uterus is. She has recently had a cesarean section and knows she needs healing here, but wonders how the practitioner knows exactly where her scar from the operation begins and ends. The fact is, Trevena is nowhere near this area of Courtney's body. It begs the question, who or what is doing the healing in the room? Many people report the sensation of feeling other people in the room, walking and running around the table, or flying, as one person put it. Reconnection healers believe that the world is entering a new phase. There is a new bandwidth of energy now accessible to the planet and the people on it to tap into. Some people may not be partial to reconnective healing because of the clever marketing machine surrounding it. Dr. Eric Pearl has trademarked the technique, and healers like Trevena have to learn the finer aspects of the craft through him directly. There is also a fairly hefty price tag attached to a reconnective healing. All practitioners must charge $333 to be exact. But don't let this put you off. Reconnective healing is a very special experience. You can feel the energy. It's very gentle and beautiful for some people, and very dramatic and visionary for others. If you can afford the hefty price tag, definitely spend an hour or 2 with a reconnective healer and get back in touch with the universe. At last, there may be an inexpensive food solution for the hungry masses of underdeveloped, hot, dry countries. And Africa is going nuts to try and get it off the ground. At this village, the women are busy buying up Bambara groundnuts. It's a legume related to the cowpea, and it's found locally throughout sub-Saharan Africa. The humble nut doesn't look particularly special, but scientists are pegging it as the latest hope in protein for the masses, particularly those countries with dry climates. This drought-tolerant legume can be grown where other legumes just shrivel up and die. Researchers with funding from the EU have been using these special greenhouses to carry out target climate experiments on the groundnuts. Computer modelling based on their field research suggests that the crop could be suitable for a number of locations outside of the African continent. The scientists hope to create crossbred varieties of the groundnut to increase yield and capitalise on the plant's nutritional and drought-resistant characteristics. Scientists from Africa, Europe and Asia have come together for this research project into an underutilised crop. Agronomic research combines with novel molecular techniques and experience from the local growers themselves. In recent decades, Africans were encouraged to cast their indigenous crops aside in favour of soya and maize. These crops require lots of water, and with the planet set to become drier, are not a viable food source. This is where the indigenous groundnut makes a grand re-entrance. Despite decades of the West imposing its crops on the African nations, plants such as the groundnut have survived.
What we've tried to do in one crop, you could do in many. There are many hundreds of underutilized crops in the world, and the idea that they're all useless and that we really shouldn't bother wasting our time trying to improve them is really out of date now. Those crops have survived despite agricultural science, and what we now need to do is ask the people who've protected those crops for many generations why they keep growing them, what is good about them, and what could we improve, and overcome the constraints.
The only thing the Bambara groundnut has going against it is its reputation. It's a woman's crop, suitable for the kitchen veggie patch, not for real farmers, according to the locals. But it's high in protein, an essential element for every human meal, and tastes good. These workers are eating tubani, a local Bambara groundnut dish. It's also been canned and incorporated into breakfast cereals in Africa. So the applications are endless. Africa used to represent 10% of the world agricultural market. Now it represents 4%. Perhaps Africans can find a solution to their economic blues by exporting their own indigenous food substances. Perhaps scientists can develop a much more macho Bambara nut for men. Join us again on Mind, Body and Soul as we discover more paths to health and happiness. But for now, Dominique gives us some food for thought.
We spend a lot of time reading books, going to courses, thinking about life purpose, thinking about why we're here. The answer to this is actually quite simple. In fact, so simple that most of us stumble over it and then keep looking for something more complicated. Your Dharma, your life purpose, the reason that you're on this planet right now, is to do whatever it is that you most enjoy doing. Literally, to follow your heart. If you look back at all of the jobs, all of the situations that you've been in your life, even the jobs that weren't really right for you, you'll find that there was some aspect of that job that you really did enjoy, some aspect of that role or that relationship that you really did enjoy and receive a lot of energy from. And if you sit down and chart this out, what you'll notice is that there's a common thread, there's a common theme within all of these roles, within all of these jobs. This is a very good indicator as to your Dharma, as to your life purpose. If you find that the common theme across your jobs, across your roles is helping people, or inspiring people, or connecting with people, you know that this is a common theme and an important theme in your life purpose, and so that is what you're pursuing. The best indicator of whether you're on track or not is how you're feeling. Are you energized from what you're doing? Are you inspired from what you're doing? From whether you're sweeping streets to managing a municipality,